I think there is need for a definition of the word excellence. And I'm not saying that because there is need for a new meaning for the word excellence, but because there is need for the understanding of the extra mile required to achieving the word excellence, either for the product you sell or for the service you provide. And before I go into the story I have in mind, I just want to ask, today we all have cars, we all buy cars, but the question is, do we all buy cars because it just moves us from one point to another? I'm saying that practically to say nobody actually buys a car because it moves. Nobody buys a gun because it shoots. And today, nobody just buy cameras because it captures. And if that looks a lot too abstract, I would say you don't buy Rolls Royce because you just want to move from one point to another. And as common as Toyota is, nobody also buys it because they just move from one point to another. How about when we now talk about the fast cars, the likes of Lamborghini, the likes of Ferrari, and others? In true sense, we don't just buy those things because they move from one point to another. Now we buy them because of the extra stuff that they bring along. You don't buy a Rolex because you want to check time. And here is it. You buy a Toyota mostly for the assurance of reliability that you can pick it up at any point in time and it will answer you and it can take you anywhere because of its ruggedity and reliability. That and extra to the fact that it can move from one point to another. You don't buy Rolls Royce because you move from one point to another, because it gives you status, there's an appearance, there is a stature it adds to you, which is an extra mile to the fact that it can take you from one point to another. You don't buy Rolex because you want to check what time of the day it is. It adds luxury, it adds status to you, and that's an extra to its original purpose, which is to check time. And what am I saying in essence is when the purpose of what you do is known, is commonized, becomes general, your only selling point from that point moving forward is the extra that you have to put to it. I was saying that you don't buy a camera because it captures. I mean, there are a lot of things and gadgets that captures today. But really, if you're going to buy a camera, it must be able to do more than just capture. What angles can it add to it? What detail can it bring out? What effect can it give to you? And so in your services that you provide, in this product that you sell, can you look a little, in fact, a lot farther and beyond the primary purpose of that service or product? And until you are able to do that, excellence might just be out of the way. And I was very angry just this week because I felt insulted. There is a work we were supposed to do, having given the bill, the cost implication, and all that is required to get it done. There was someone who came up with something way cheaper to be done. And by all estimates, question remains, how do you tend to achieve the excellence that is required for this service in such a way that the owner of the project is able to have peace of mind, is able to recommend you later for another job, and is able to vouch for you, and then after now still be able to pray for you that you have done a great job. But I see that just like a skeletal form of anything major, it's always not impressive, and nobody really does any project or buys any product solely for the purpose of the project. That is, if you are making a bowl, we are not just doing it to get a water source. Of course, that is the primary purpose. But beyond having that water source, we want to be sure that this is sustainable. We want to be sure that this has a good lifespan. We also want to be sure that this is going to supply the amount of water needed. We also want to be sure that any time of the day when we get there, we have water. And lastly, and not the least, is we want to be rest assured that this will not require regular maintenance. Even though a lot of people would rather pay the minimum just to get the things they want done. That's where you stand to make a difference as a service provider. Not just by you providing what the customer wants, but at the same time creating an image for yourself. So by that reason, question you want to be asking yourself is, what is the extra mile that you have to put into this thing that you are doing? What is the extra thing that you have to do to make sure that this work is optimally done, produced, and guarantees safety, peace of mind, and at the end of the day, it can be your entry point to even bigger works. So as a service provider, as a product seller, whatever it is you do, you have to bear in mind that beyond the primary purpose of anything you do is the extra mile that help you stand out in the midst of the general public, which puts you in an advantage that many other people will not get. I mean, these are the things that make you unforgettable. These are the things that make you last long in people's mind. So I'm saying to you, while you make your product available, while you sell your services, make sure there is the extra mile. So if you're selling that product, your extra mile could be, if you have any problem within the next 6 months, call us. We're going to take care of it. Not just a customer support kind of a thing that you just do and once it's delivered, you let it go. But that we are saying for the first year of this service we have done for you, if you have any problem at all, call us and we are going to resolve it for you. And if for any reason we have to collect money from you, it's going to be at a very discounted rate. These are the things that make you stand out. These are the things that treat you separate from every other person. Excellence is the extra mile you have to go outside of the primary purpose of what you have done. You get it?